just released, talking about his work for Mossad, talking about his work for the Rothschilds. I mean, it just goes on. And so can we discuss the blackmail operation that was taking place and which government that's a special ally of the United States put him up to it? And do we really want to be allies with a country that kidnaps young girls for rape just so they can have dirt on American politicians and control our foreign policy? That's the big...
That was Ana Kasparian on Piers Morgan's show, saying the quiet part out loud about the Epstein scandal. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how she dismantled the right-wing media's favorite deflection tactic. But more importantly, we are going to expose a massive hypocrisy. You are about to see Eric Bolling, the man sitting across from her, defend billionaires in one breath and then demand the arrest of journalists in the next. Let's watch this together.
So Piers, I think what we're looking at right now, and I'm listening to Tara being outraged about Donald Trump, very conveniently not mentioning a former president, Bill Clinton, who, may or may not be claiming he didn't have any involvement with any underage girls, yet there are pictures of him swimming in hot tubs with Ghislaine Maxwell and some very young-looking ladies. Not sure if they were underage or not.
Clinton.
So, but allow me just to finish.
He's not the president of the United States right now.
May I just please... So the fact that he's a seated president is different from a former president is shocking. Here's my point. Not that you're being biased at all. My point is the media right now, the people who consume media on the last, 3 or 4 tidbits of information. And what's happened is these guys, some of these guys, and I've been an advocate for getting all of the files out without redactions or as few, as few possible redactions as for national security safety as possible. And I'm telling you, what I'm feeling is Elon Musk is saying, I wasn't there, had nothing to see. I had Alan Dershowitz on my show Friday, a couple of days ago, and he now is claiming there was no sexual trafficking, there was no underage girls. And I said, Alan, Bill Clinton's on the call logs. We have pictures of him at the island. And he said something like, yeah, but that doesn't make him guilty. No, it doesn't, but an investigation might. My point is, let's keep digging. Let's not let them change the narrative, including Donald Trump.
Did you catch it? That is the whataboutism shield. Bolling isn't interested in the crimes on the island. He is interested in the scoreboard. He thinks if he screams Bill Clinton loud enough, it distracts you from the fact that his side is also heavily implicated. He wants a partisan mud fight. Now, watch Ana Kasparian refuse to play that game.
Being completely honest about that, then are they being honest about other things? I don't know the answer, but it certainly starts to raise a lot of eyebrows.
I know the answer. The answer is no, they're not being honest about other things. Come on, Piers. I mean, you're a smart man. You're not naive. I mean, even if they weren't implicated in the Epstein files, anyone who takes what the rich and powerful have to say at face value are being, unbearably naive. But
that is how you handle a hack. She doesn't defend Clinton. She calls everyone out. But then she pivots to the real story, the story that mainstream media is terrified to touch. Watch the room go silent when she brings this up.
Picture here, which is what was really going on with Epstein, because Epstein was more than just a serial pedophile and a pervert. He was an incredibly powerful man who was, by the way, in multiple instances in the files that were just released, talking about his work for Mossad, talking about his work for the Rothschilds. I mean, it just goes on. And so can we discuss the blackmail operation that was taking place and which government that's a special ally of the United States put him up to it? And do we really want to be allies with a country that kidnaps young girls for rape just so they can have dirt on American politicians and control our foreign policy? That's the bigger underlying issue here that no one's talking about.
Yeah. She completely reframed the argument. But notice how uncomfortable the law and order crowd gets when you mention intelligence agencies. But it's not just the intel agencies they are protecting, it is the billionaire class itself. Look at how Piers Morgan, of all people, has to step in and expose the hypocrisy regarding their new hero, Elon Musk. Watch how the right defends him despite the evidence.
The people that carried on consorting with him after that. And one of those is Elon Musk, who's gone on a kind of tear on his own social media platform, X, vehemently denying he ever accepted any invitation to go onto the Epstein Island or go to any of the parties, any of these things. And yet we're seeing emails in this dump of documents where he clearly would like to. He's asking which night is the wildest. He's planning to come. The fact that he didn't in the end seemingly go to any doesn't mean that he wasn't keen to. And this was years after Epstein's conviction. So I think Elon Musk has some difficult questions to answer that he's apparently very keen not to answer, as he tries to present himself as the knight in shining armor that wanted to blow the lid on all this, which is why did you actually have this kind of relationship with Epstein, knowing he's a convicted pedophile?
Did you catch that? When it comes to billionaires and tech moguls like Elon Musk, the law and order crowd suddenly becomes incredibly cautious. They demand context. They demand nuance. They want a massive burden of proof before they'll even entertain a critical question. But watch how fast that burden of proof vanishes the moment the target is someone they hate. While Eric Bolling and the establishment right have spent days playing defense for everyone in the Epstein Files, they've spent those same days celebrating the arrest of journalist Don Lemon, demanding he be thrown in a cage for simply doing his job. It is the definition of a two-tiered justice system: privacy and due process for the elite, handcuffs and character assassination for the journalists. And just to show you how politically motivated this is, look at the contrast between the actual legal facts and the narrative Bolling is about to spin. Before we see the attack, listen to a real criminal defense attorney explain exactly why the case against Don Lemon is a total joke.
But Mark, from a pure legal perspective, did Don Lemon, in your estimation, break the law?
No, he didn't. It's not even close. And I don't do politics. I do just legal. And the First Amendment gives wide latitude for journalists to do exactly what he did, cover an event. So those who say that he did interfere with people's ability to worship, there's a difference between incidental interference and intentional interference. One needs intentional interference to be found guilty of a criminal act. He wasn't there, it appears from the facts,
ongoing
to
service.
intentionally.
That's not intentional?
Well, hold on. I was just speaking. I wasn't through with my thoughts. He intentionally was there to gather facts, but his intention falls way short, factually, of intending to be there to interfere with people's ability to worship. So again, if there's just incidental interference, that's not enough. And clearly the chilling effect is there too. The message goes out that anyone who's merely present at an event can be arrested, and that's real problematic.
It's not even close. That is the legal expert. Lemon was covering a protest. There was no intent to disrupt worship. But does Eric Bolling care about the law? Does he care about the First Amendment? No, he cares about power. Watch how he ignores the lawyer and demands the arrest anyway.
What facts was Don Lemon looking for, Mark? What facts was he looking? He was looking to create a scene, to get the cameras rolling, to get his own face on the evening news, which he did. And I said, when the minute it happened, they just propped up Don Lemon, not because they like his journalism, because they need him as a useful idiot to their push to open immigration at all costs. And by the way, Mark, I would argue with you that I think protecting people's right to worship is right up there, if not superseding the First Amendment.
I don't disagree.
The right for journalism.
So let's get this straight. Alleged child trafficking involving intelligence agencies. Let's not rush to judgment. A journalist walking into a church to cover a protest? Throw him in jail. Bolling calls Don Lemon a useful idiot, but look at how he escalates this. He literally tries to rewrite reality to frame a reporter as a gang leader.
Consequences for that. I mean, that's what you signed up for, right?
Let me offer some guidance, guys.
That under Piers's definition of what happened or question about what happened, Don Lemon wasn't there to cover it. Don Lemon was the leader of that, whatever that break-in was.
He was covering it on
I don't think that's right.
Let me jump in here.
He went from Don Lemon was covering a protest to Don Lemon led the break-in. This is the authoritarian playbook. Protect the powerful with due process and persecute the press with guilt by association. And to be honest, this panel debate was a perfect microcosm of American media. On one side, you have Ana Kasparian demanding accountability for the entire system. Rich, powerful, intelligence agencies, all of it. On the other side, you have a partisan operative who only cares about protecting his team and punishing his enemies. The Epstein story isn't about left versus right. it's about the top versus the bottom. And as long as pundits like Bolling can distract us with Bill Clinton or Don Lemon, they win. My question for you is, why do you think the intelligence angle Ana brought up is so rarely discussed on cable news? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more breakdowns like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.